So if you're a regular user of the Cursor AI functionality and you're not a paying member, then you must be aware that you get only 50 requests for using the high performance models like Claude 3.5. And as soon as you reach that monthly limit of 50 requests, then you will meet this error, which says that you have used up your free quota. So either you can sign up for the $20 per month, or another thing that you can do is that within Cursor settings, you can go to the model section and add your own open AI or Anthropic or Google keys if you want to use specific models like Claude 3.5 or the GPT-4o or from Gemini, right? You can select all those. But there are some other alternatives as well. You can also use OpenRouter models. Now, great thing is that just recently Nebius AI Studio announced their support for the R1 and the V3 Deepseek models on the OpenRouter marketplace. So if you go and head over to openrouter.ai/models, you can specifically search for all the different types of models, whether it's text-to-text or text and image to text. And within the providers, you'll find Nebius. So if I select that, you'll see that the two supported models are Deepseek R1 and Deepseek V3. So if you happen to have some Nebius AI credits and you want to use them instead of using the native 3.5 and you're run out of your Cursor limits, then you can use these. Now the process of applying this is fairly straightforward. So just first head over to openrouter.ai/models, and let's say that you want to now use Deepseek R1. So a great thing over here is that you can see that these are all of the different providers for the Deepseek R1 model, including Deepseek itself. But if you happen to have a Nebius AI API key, which you can just very easily generate on Nebius AI Studio, then you can click on this key because OpenRouter supports the custom integrations for all of these different providers. So what you can do is that you can head over to this integrations page and just apply your own API key. So in this case, I've already gone ahead, generated an API key inside of the Nebius AI Studio, which if you want to see, you can just very easily go to Nebius AI Studio, and I'll quickly just show you how that looks like. So I'll just log into Nebius AI Studio over here, and you can go over to the API key section and generate a new API key. And that API key then can be added to the OpenRouter. And then what you have to do is that in order to add the OpenRouter API key, you have to essentially override the OpenAI key. So over here, you'll also have to update the OpenAI base URL. So the first thing that we'll do is that we will generate our own API key from OpenRouter, which you can do on there, just creating a new API key over here, and also take this base URL, right? So just take this base URL, copy it over, and add that right over here. Now you can verify. Oh, that's because we didn't save this. So first, let's save this. And of course, Claude 3.5 will not be supported over here. We can just verify this, which is some models. Okay. So what we can do is that we can just add the Deepseek. And the way that I got these model names was that the model ID was right over here. So if we go back to the models, you can just copy over the model ID. So if I, let's say, remove this one, I can add a model. If I click on add model, you can see that I selected these two models. So these were model IDs were copied from OpenRouter. And then if I click on verify, hopefully it should work. Perfect. So now if I go back to the chat, I can see that I have the option of Deepseek versus Deepseek R1 and chat. So I can just go ahead and say, can you explain beat.config.js. So now we are using the Deepseek R1 model that's coming from OpenRouter via the Nebius AI provider, and I can use those credits from Nebius AI to proper use and still be able to experience the great functionality that you usually get with Cursor. So let's just wait for response. You can also use, of course, the V3 model, which is the Deepseek chat, which is this one, V3. So hopefully we should start to see the response now getting generated. So this is the model response coming right from the Deepseek R1 running inside of your Cursor environment.